What's going on, guys? Today I have a few things I'm going to be working on with respect to the steering column. I have a bunch of other stuff torn out because I am replacing some of the bulbs that were burned out in the HVAC and in the cluster itself. The cluster actually was missing almost a bunch of the bulbs in the back of it, so the previous owner didn't put the bulbs in the wrong places, and anyway, it was an issue to itself. But we're going to talk about the steering wheel today. So the steering wheel, as you can see, is off center. It's not, it's, the wheels are mostly straight, but it's off center because this Grip Royal steering wheel does not adapt to the NRG hub and the quick release. You actually have to get a different adapter or get the Grip Royal set up. So I don't want to mess with that because it's already too far back for my liking. So that's the first thing, is we're going to take this off. The second thing, as you can see, is the steering column is crooked. It's been bent somehow. I don't know what happened. So anyway, I went to the junkyard, got a different steering column from another EK. This thing is also messed up. This is the wiper controls. It's jacked, so I have another one that I'm going to replace. I got from the junkyard too, in great condition. So I'm going to replace this and the steering column and remove this. I have a minty fresh EM1 OEM wheel, steering wheel, airbag set up, the whole nine, that my friend sold me for a very reasonable price. So I'm going to be putting that in there today as well. So hopefully we can get all this done. Okay, so I pulled off the steering wheel. It's got the quick release. You can see that right here. So we got to get to this. So this is the quick release adapter. So we need to take off these hex cap bolts. I'm not sure what size they are. Let me double check. So these are metric 2.5 to take these guys off. So once we get this off, there's the nut underneath that attaches this to the steering column, and then we're going to have to get creative on how we're going to take that off. So I'm going to take these guys off if I can. So I'm just going to loosen them in that crisscross pattern. Okay, so I was mistaken. It's actually a 19, and it was actually very loose. I just didn't put any pressure on it, and it came out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it off, back it off as far as we can. So without giving, that way we can put the adapter back on. So I'm gonna put it that far. That way, when we pull it, it won't fly off and hit us in the face. So this is loose, this is backed out. I'm gonna put the adapter back on and the wheel back on, and then we'll try and yank it off. Okay, so we got the hub adapter back on for the quick release. So I'm gonna put the steering wheel back on now, and then we're gonna try and yank this thing off. Here's the wheel. There's a couple ways to take it off. You can beat on it, you can wiggle it back and forth, but I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the outside, because where the spokes interface to the actual wood wheel, this is a wooden wheel, steering wheel, that's weak. I think it's probably just held in by glue or something, so I don't want to break it there. So you can tap on it from the other side, or you can kind of pull it in the middle. So I'm going to grab it here. Probably going to have to do this off camera. I'm going to grab it here and yank on it. If that doesn't work, the other method is I'm going to wrap parachute cord, which I have right here, and I may not even need to do that, but I'm just telling you guys, wrap parachute cord around it, and wrap it around one of these dead blow hammer, or this other hammer, and then yank on it, and then that'll give you some force to pull it back. So I'm going to try and pull on it, and then I'm going to try and grab it right here, both hands, and wiggle in from the center and see if I can pull it out. If that doesn't work, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay guys, I lucked out. My pulling method from the spokes with my bare hands, I guess I'm stronger than I think I am, took it off. So it's loose. So I'm just going to take these off again, take that bolt off in the center, and then we should be good to go. Okay, this is off. I'm going to take this off, and once this is off, it comes right out. like that. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is take off the combination setup. So this is where your clock spring would be. Luckily my clock spring is tucked down in here, so I still have it. So I need to pull it out before I mess anything up. But I'm gonna take this off so I don't damage this switch. So you just take, I already loosened it, you take it, just these three screws, they're Phillips, and then it should pull right out. And then there's some connectors on this side that you have to worry about. You have to take those off, one's for either for the whole thing. So I'm gonna take that off for right now. Okay, so it's out. These are the connectors you have to remove. There's one on top and these two on the sides, and all the push releases are easily accessible. So as you can see, this thing's crooked really bad, so I need to take the ignition switch off, this connector here, so I'll get to that next. One thing I'm going to do real quick is that I have this out, I'm going to take off this broken switch and replace it with this not broken switch. So it's pretty easy from what I remember. I've done this before once or twice. You take these two screws out, which I already did, and then if you look at the replacement, it has slots right here, so the whole thing slides out, so you have to pry it out from the back, I think, from back here, from back here. So I'm gonna do that off camera and see if I can get it. So I got it broken loose. What I recommend doing is not prying. What I did is I just stuck my screwdriver like this, like a wedge, and I wedged here, and then it finally gave loose, and then it just goes out just like that. It's trash, so I don't care. Oh, see you later. And then the new one just slips right in. So I'm gonna do that since I can't do it with just one hand. Okay, so for the steering column, it's kind of a lot of stuff you have to, well, it is, but it isn't. So you want to break these loose. These are already loose for mine because you're gonna need, but usually you have to hit them with a, because they're flat on top, you have to hit them with a punch and then walk them out. So mine are already loose for some reason, because you have to take out the ignition switch, and then the ignition switch has a big harness right here. Like, I already took it off. This needs to be redone. I'm not going to use house wiring, but yeah, that was poorly done. So this one of these, there's a couple connectors down here. One goes into this connector, which is this brown plug. There's several brown plugs, but it's this brown plug, and then this other one has another connector that's up here. I'm not sure I can get to it, but it's up here. See this one I'm wiggling? This one. So you unhook those two electrical connectors, and this harness is free. There's another connector right here. This one has to come loose, and then the clock spring. So mine was, luckily mine was tucked away, so, and it wasn't messed up. These posts weren't damaged or anything, so it looks to be okay. So the clock spring has this airbag connector, which is right here, and then that connects to the clock spring down here. So once you unhook all of that, electrically it's disconnected from the chassis. And then down here there's this cover, and it's got a couple of clips. It's got one here in the front and one back here, which I took them off already. I couldn't do it with one hand. And then that'll expose the linkage itself. So it's got a U-joint, two U-joints actually, one here and one down there. So this is the break point where it's splined. So you have to take this loose, and then it's connected to the car right here. I'm sorry, not there. There's too many things in my way. Right here, these two bolts you have to remove, and then this bolt right here you have to remove. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. I think they look like 12. Let's see. They are. That is a 12. That is a 12, and this one down here is a 10. So I'm gonna remove these and pull the whole thing out, and hopefully I don't break anything in the process. So I took the steering column out. This is the old one, and that's the new one I got. Well, the one I got from the junkyard. And I tested it. It's, yeah, this one's straight. This one is not. This one is bent. It's bent, pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that it's crooked compared to this one. This one's straight. So I don't know what happened. I'm assuming someone tried to break into this car at one point, and they bent the heck out of the steering column. So I fished out all the cables and stuff. So the ignition switch, the clock spring. I'm gonna repair this. I'm just gonna get a crimp connector. I have a like the ones you use for audio. So I'm gonna crimp this a little better than that, and then fish it all through, run it back in there, and line everything up. And then I'm gonna put the steering wheel, the OEM EM1 steering wheel, back on, and everything else, and hopefully it all works. Okay, so I got everything routed. I had the clock springs on there, but just loosely because I wanted to run the cables through. So they go through this pass through on the bottom. This is loose, and then all of these are back. I actually soldered this instead of when trying to crimp it, because it was cut, and I had that electrical connector. So anyway, I'm gonna run it back through. One thing to keep in mind down here is there's a flat spot. You see there's no spline, so you need to line that up with the bolt. So, and when it attaches to the other U-joint down there. So I'm gonna put all this back and get it all strained down, bolted down. Okay, I got everything put back together. I turned the car on. That works. I tried the wipers. They work. Turn the lights on. Those work. So everything's good to go. So I'm gonna put the clock spring back on. So I'm gonna put the OEM steering wheel, which I have right here. It's in very good condition. Like, it's got a few little blemishes, but nothing terrible. So this guy's going on here. Okay, you got the steering wheel on there. I just hit this with my impact a couple times, a couple uggas to get it on there, and it's good to go. This connector goes to your cruise control. This one, you just tuck it down there. That's for your airbag. This black one here is for your horn, and then the other horn wire from your airbag will connect there to that one, and then you just tuck this one down here and connect it. So I'm going to do all that, and then tighten everything down. All right, so it's pretty much in there. I just need to put these little Torx head. I believe these are T15s. Nope, I'm sorry, T30. So you just need a, I don't know if it's gonna come out because of the sun. You need to put them in there and tighten them down the side, and then that's it. The finished product. Got everything back together. Looking great. The horn works. I haven't tried the cruise control yet. but I have some other stuff I gotta do before I drive it, but looking much better. Love that OEM look. Wheel is in really good condition. It's got a few, like one or two little tiny blemishes right there, but it's not hit like some other ones I've seen. So I hope this helped you guys out. You know, replacing, it's not that bad, replacing the steering column and the steering wheel and all that, but it does take a little bit of work, a little bit of planning and work, but it's not terrible. Till next time,